Hello. It's been a while, and basically all I'm gonna do today is just showcase a theme I made for LMMS. I've been using this software for about maybe 4 years, and I only 1 to 2 years ago learned that you could put a theme on it, and I only experimented with that like 6 months ago. So, don't have a lot of experience with themes, but I decided I've been using this software for a long time, I might as well personalize it since I haven't downloaded a theme or anything. So I spent the last week of my life, and then yet last night pulled an all-nighter with an energy drink and finished making this theme. So for starters, the icon, I've already changed it. Now to showcase the theme, I have switched, as you can see, uh, I've just switched it back to the default. So it's currently just on default theme, just to showcase what's different. Um, but yeah. So, uh, just throwing random things around here. Da, and just throwing random things around. But yeah, I have been using this software for quite a while, and decided it's about time I probably personalize it. So, currently, this is what it looks like, right? Everything looks like this. Lightspot plugin browser, everything looks like this. And open up the instrument panel. It's all this. It's this. Now, one thing I will say, I've honestly wanted a theme since before I knew themes existed, because LMMS's whole color, its whole thing is the color green. And I'm gonna be completely honest when I say I don't like the color green. So yeah, it's a little bit of contrast there. Um, but yeah, uh, here here be things. It all looks like this, right? And yeah, everything looks like this. Let this. Oh yeah, but yeah, it's just all this stuff. Um, effects chain, stuff like this. Um, but yeah, I don't like the color green. Green is probably one of my least favorite colors. And so, since that is the main color of LMMS, that kind of doesn't work very well. So, I decided, you know what? Am going to, I'm gonna make a new theme. So, spent about a week on it, and yeah. So, just here's what it looks like normally. Here's all this stuff. Settings. So now if I scroll down here, themes directory, there we go. So now, let me restart LMMS. You can already tell it looks a little different. And here it is. So, this is the theme. Uh, sure, there's some things that could be a bit more polished, but I'm gonna be completely honest when I say I don't care. I just spent like 10 hours working on the CSS file. I'm good. I'm done. I'm done. But yeah. Anyway, let me just try and go over what I believe I've changed. So here we have this. This is the loop points. I've changed the view, the zoom to look like that. Here's the play mode. This one is stop where it's at. This one is go back to start when paused. This one is go back to where you put it. So yeah, this is auto scroll on versus off. Auto scroll does this. Auto scroll does this. Oh, there we go. And if it's off, it does not automatically move your camera. But yeah, I've adjusted the majority of all things here. I've swapped out most all green with rust, which is my favorite color, and this may sound really dorky, but I've memorized the hex code of rust. But this most all green has been replaced by a shade of B7410E, which is the shade, the hex code of rust. So, I have all this stuff here. Is that green? That's green. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna be completely honest when I say I have no idea how to change that. But yeah. For the most part, I've changed almost everything. Before I release the theme, because it's not out yet, I might see if there's a way to change that from green. But yeah, I've adjusted most of the PNGs. I will say, one thing I did that was potentially, oh yeah, the keys are orange now. That looks like that. Don't know why it's doing that. Oh, because it did this. But yeah. Now, one thing I have changed that's really subtle is uh, all white PNGs. So, like, this and this and this, all these icons. One thing I did is I changed them all from straight up white because they all were previously just like uh, FFFF, like the whitest of white that computers make. And I changed it to hex code DE, which is just slightly darker. It probably doesn't look any different right now, but if you were to compare them side by side, it would look a little different. So, yeah, everything currently looks like this. Uh, it's mostly just this color. So this is verdigris, the blue-green color going on. Verdigris is, I looked this up because I didn't know. Verdigris is uh, the color of oxidized copper, and since the other color I was having was rust and I needed a color to contrast that, I was like, why not do the other rust? Because oxidized copper might as well be copper's version of rust. So yeah, the two main colors here are verdigris and rust. But yeah, if I settings, some stuff like the settings here, I will say it is a little debatable how it looks. Um, but I will say most of the usable stuff I'm very happy with. I've adjusted this. I've adjusted these PNGs. Uh, okay, here I've added borders to the notes. This is a little interesting. It's kind of hard to see because I couldn't figure out how to change the border like size. But now all the notes have a slight faint outline. Normally, notes just have this little tab right here, which is a separate color from the note that you use to adjust the size. Um, but now that color is in like a 1 pixel border all around each note. Um, but yeah, and so now a sample track looks like this. An audio file. Whoops. Let's say just loops, meh, meh, open. Beat baseline track. And no, it doesn't really look different. Oh, also forgot to mention, you can turn on gradients. So there is a gradient on these now, if it wasn't obvious. But yeah, you can turn on gradients for notes and stuff. Uh, I made automation editor red now. It was previously purple. I have nothing against purple. I just decided to make it red. And yeah, this is all a little different. I've changed mute to this icon. Change color. Me. Looks okay-ish. There are a bunch of like quote-unquote Easter eggs. Right here, the project notes shows the words rust, or the word rust, not plural. Undo and redo, I wasn't really sure. I wanted to do like a U-turn, but it didn't look really good. So I just made like a stylized U and R. But yeah. I will say sometimes the contrast is a little difficult to see. But I'm not going back to change it, so. But yeah. Controller rack, add LFO controller. I've adjusted background here, the background to this as well. As you can see. I didn't realize that was gonna do that. Wee. Effects. Now, look, let me do this. Now effects look like this. Add effect. Meh. Look like this. But yeah. So now, icons for things that are turned off. All the PNGs are now red. But yeah. Let me see. Like these have been adjusted. Everything going on here, separate. Oh, I need to change this potentially. This color here is the exact same color as the background, so this just is floating in the middle of nowhere. This little adjuster bar. But yeah. I've adjusted these icons. My favorite icon that I've adjusted is this one, the one for the song editor. Because previously, the icon, I am gonna be honest, I couldn't really, every time I looked at it, it took me a while to go, oh yeah, that's for song editor. But this, I look at this and I go, oh, song editor, I know that. Because previously it was 3x3. I've now made it 4x4. What I mean by that is I've included the gray on the end here, and I've also added an extra row. And I also added the playback position marker. Yeah, what's this now? Is this, does that? I've changed all the plus icons into like windmills. Settings now does this. Assign new effects channel, blah blah blah. Stuff like this. Here's all these view tools. Okay, let's put plugin browser. Here's another one of the Easter egg quote unquote things I was talking about. Right here, I have adjusted this icon only. These, I didn't really know what, if anything, to do to them, so I didn't really mess with them. But this one, I'm gonna be honest, I could not find this for hours until I pressed this, because this is the only spot in LMMS where this icon is. And this icon is one of the first ones I changed because it's an A, so it's at the top of the folder. So it took me a while to find. But yeah. So I've adjusted this. It looked like an old TV with like knobs Down here, here, like here, I think, and up here, I've also cut this side of the wall off to add more room for this waveform. Down here, those little buttons or knobs, whatever, is Morse code for Rust. Uh, I think it's dot dash dot. I can't read it very well from this resolution, but yeah. There's a few minor details like this, like I was saying, that I might adjust really quick before I release it, but for the most part, yeah. Don't know why that's freaking bass boosted. That's crazy. But yeah, that is currently what everything looks like right now. Oh yeah, current scale. As you can see, I've adjusted these. Mark current scale. Looks like that now. Adjust velocity. Yeah. But yeah, I would say I'm glad with how most everything has turned out. Um, there are some things that I have not used, some things I have not changed, aside from the bare minimum of making the straight white to FFFF. I think the only things I didn't do that to were piano keys, intentionally. I think these are still FFFFF, or whatever, straight white hex code. Up here, this bar, I haven't touched the CPU meter, but this bar up here, the visualizer, danger is now purple. Danger is, of course, like, kinda loud, and, bad, so, like, clipping sound, potential, this is too loud stuff, is now purple. So yeah, I think I said the other thing was purple. I meant, blue. The other thing, the warning, the danger, it's like, this is getting a little loud up there. I think that one's blue. And the danger is purple. Sorry. But yeah. So yeah, the theme is, of course, for free. So yeah, just gonna refine a few rough edges, and then it should be good for release. And yeah, I hope you like it. I also included an icon in the theme folder, a ICO file. So if you're on Windows, you can swap out your desktop icon, as you saw I had already done. You can swap out your desktop icon, and yeah, that is the theme. I'm happy with it. I'm glad with how it turned out. There's a few things that, again, rough around the edges, but most things I'd say I like the look of very much. But yeah, that's about it. This is the metronome. If this doesn't make any sense, just hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the basis on the metronome. The save icon, SSD, and again, plus is a windmill here. I've changed almost everything except for instruments, because you can supposedly change like knobs and dials and stuff in instruments. But aside from stuff like this, that, was just by default gonna be changed. Aside from stuff like that, I didn't change any of the instrument stuff. So like this UI. But yeah. I know I've said "but yeah" a few times already, but this is the theme. It's called Rust, and it'll be on the sharing platform today once I smooth out the rough edges. In fact, I might release it before I release this video, but probably not. release this video first. But yeah, that's Rust. Spent the past week of my life on this. Was it worth it? That's a great question. All right, bye bye.